Hi guys, PJ here. Today we are taking a look at the PC release of Far Cry 5. Hoping to go through all the options and settings with you, show you what's available in the game, what languages it supports, what graphics settings it supports, along with sound, gameplay, what gamepads, etc. Also show a little bit of gameplay. You know, we're on a 21:9 screen here, so it does support it. I've already checked. Even though we've got the black each side of the screen at the moment, that's normally only the menus and the cutscenes. A little bit annoying, but it does expand back into full game when you're actually playing. So let's go straight from the top here. Like I say, gameplay is your first one. Just click in here. Right, we have auto drive. We've got automatic or manual. Now, what's it got here? Land vehicles will automatically steer and maintain speed when you turn to aim at enemies. Okay, manual, you must activate auto drive to gain this benefit. Fair enough. Weapon tagging. Auto lag enemies when aiming at them, as long as they are in weapon range. And if you want that or not, I'd probably turn that off myself, but still. Enable friendly fire on and off. Well, it is a co-op game, simple enough. Reticle position, offset, centered. Take your pick there, either of which. Aim type, we have hold or toggle, and then we have open in-game party on and off. That's simple enough, isn't it, that one? Crouch type, we've got toggle or hold. Yeah, so we're basically when you just hold the key whether he stands up or not again. That's easy. HUD interaction, not integration, first mistake there, sorry guys. Hold or toggle, and weapon selection is grid or wheel, whichever you prefer. I'm sure if you're familiar with Ubisoft games what that means. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's go back. Next up is audio. Now I'm only running this on a 2.1 setup, so it would be interesting if it does have surround sound. I don't really know. Master volume there, obviously from 0 to 100. Music on and off. Audio language, we have English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Russian, Portuguese, Japanese, and back to English again there. Subtitles on and off, and also French was the first one there I saw. Yeah, obviously English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Dutch, Polish, Czech, Russian, simplified Chinese, Portuguese, Japanese, Korean, traditional Chinese, Arabic, and off. It's quite a good selection there, to be fair. Subtitles background on and off, whether or not you want sort of a higher contrast ability to be able to read that. Voice chat on and off, obviously. Voice chat volume, nice and simple, 0 to 100 on voice chat volume. Can't seem to toggle voice chat, it's an odd, isn't it? Why not? I can't toggle it. Okay, pick up threshold. That speaks for itself, doesn't it? Voice communication always on, push to talk, or always on. That's it. Okay, back. I'll do video last because that's normally the biggie. You know, it normally takes a while. So, gamepad, yeah, definitely supports Xbox One, like pretty much everything does nowadays. Also supports DS4 natively. I've plugged in a PlayStation controller, it was fine, no problem. Steam controller as well, as long as obviously you're running it through the Steam setup. Depends if you bought your game on Uplay or not, so I won't be able to tell you on that one. You have to let me know. I would imagine Steam controller support those only if you bought the game through Steam. Bear that one in mind. Personally, I've gone direct through Uplay, which is what I normally do. So. Okay, we've got look sensitivity, vibration on and off, aiming assists on and off, and driving and shooting aim assist on and off. We've also got some here for the ground, and we've got lefty buttons on and off. Lefty stick, button flipped, invert vertical look, invert wingsuit pitch. Land and water vehicle layout. Obviously feel free to pause the video, look at the little layout at the side of the screen there showing you all the buttons. So you can have a quick look. We've got lefty buttons on and off, lefty stick on and off, buttons flipped, and driving controls classic or shooter. Take your pick. There's the shooter layout. Like I say, pause the video, have a look. And back to classic. There we go. Aeroplanes. lefty buttons again, lefty stick, button flipped. Plane controls, we have shooter or classic. There's your classic layout, so take note of the controller configuration there for classic. Back to shooter. Invert plane pitch on and off. I'll leave that on. I don't know about you, but I like to be able to have invert on for diving and stuff. Swap throttle up and down. I'll do that. And then what we got? Helicopter. Lefty buttons, lefty stick, button flipped. What's button flip do then? Rockets and flares and lock and hold. Okay, that's fair enough. Helicopter controls, we have again shooter configuration or classic configuration. Invert helicopter pitch. I'll have that on. Personal preference. You guys might want it differently. What else have we got? We have a built-in benchmark, which is nice, but I'm not actually convinced it portrays actual in-game play, because obviously there is some situations where the game's going absolutely crazy, loads of things happening. Around that, I'll put a higher load on it than what that benchmark runs. Maybe, maybe not, who knows, we shall see. So interface, we have your preset is always on, yeah, all of them are all off, but here's all the list that you've got. Feel free to, like I say, pause and have a quick look, because this list is pretty big. It will take me forever to read them out. So if we go all the way down, there we go. A lot of interface. It's nice though with Ubisoft games, because obviously you can turn them all off and have just a nice clear picture. And a lot of people like doing that. I'm included. I'll go with sort of normally a minimalist look. You don't necessarily want, I don't know, gun hit numbers, scores flying off of characters when you're shooting them, do you? Credits tutorial. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? So let's go to video now, guys, the big one. Okay, so video adapter, obviously you can choose which one. You'll see I'm running a GTX 1066GB. This is the Asus ROG one, so it is factory overclocked, and I've overclocked it to pretty much the max that it will take. Okay, runs it very well. No problem on max settings, as you will see. Depends what you want to go for, frame rate wise, of course, that will have a big impact. You can also choose your display. I have tested it plugged into a 4K TV, and it was the option, nice and simple, to switch between the ultra-wide monitor and the TV. It didn't have any glitches, which is good, because a lot of games, when you're switching between an ultra-wide and a TV, causes all sorts of problems. This game was fine. Okay, menu display. Which TV do you want it on? It's nice and simple. Or monitor. We've got full screen, we've got windowed, and we've got borderless, as you would expect. Aspect ratio, native 21:9 there, custom 5:4, 4:3, 16:10, 5:3, 16:9, and back to native. Resolutions will depend entirely on what you are running. If I go to 16:9, I can show you the list that supports. There we go. So we were right down on 720 then, weren't we? 1080p. Let's start right at the top. So there's your top one, 1080p. Obviously, if you're running it on a full screen 4K monitor, you can have different reses available. And then it goes all the way down to 720p. Your common one's supported as a 900p. But for myself, I need to go back to native. Refresh rate. A lot of monitors are overclockable. Obviously, if you've got a 120, 144, you'll see that figure come up. Mine goes up to 75, it's overclocked at 75, so you can choose between the two, which is nice. Enable HDR. This monitor is not HDR, but when I plugged my TV in, it did come up as enabled, so we could see it in HDR. VRAM indicator is nice and handy at the bottom here. It seems to be really well catered to a 3GB card at this sort of res. If you're running a normal 1080p monitor, bear in mind you'll be running a lot less pixels than I am, so you should get a better frame rate in theory. Okay, so if we switch over now to quality, as they call it, we have graphics quality custom, and we have ultra, high, normal, and low. So I think I had it on, let's have a look. Can I go back? No, I've lost my settings. Super. Never mind. Texture filter in there, and it gives you a nice blown up little diagram at the side that you can see. We're on ultra at the moment. It pretty much sets itself to ultra on this particular card, so you can run with that. That's high, normal, and low. As you can see, it gets blurrier in the distance. Go back to ultra there. High, you know, high is not much difference. If you look between the two, you can probably get away with high. I'll leave it on high. Shadows. Again, I can't actually tell much difference in game on ultra or high. There's the ultra one, and there's high. A little bit blurrier, but not ideal, not really, especially when you're in game and running around everywhere. Medium, yeah, take a little bit of a hit, and obviously low, yeah, a bit more basic, shall we say. So, okay, let's go. Actually, we'll stick to ultra, shall we? Geometry and vegetation. Again, there's your ultra. There's your high. A little bit, not a big deal though, is it? You know, if you're looking at clawing a few FPS back. Normal and low. Even low, the game looks good. So if you look at your VRAM, it's not doing a fat lot to it. So environment, ultra, low, no, sorry, ultra high, medium, or normal as they call it, and low. Low, you'll notice a big impact in the water. If I flip back again, just look at low there, there's medium. So you lose all the shadowing, reflections to the water. All the reflections, all the shadowing, all gone. So you want normal or above really. Ultra and high again, nothing in it, hardly any difference. Keep an eye on your VRAM. Water. High setting, normal setting, which looks good in game, it's fine. And low, bit blurry, not bad. Terrain, high, normal, low. Again, when you're bombing along in a car, it's hard to notice too much difference, so don't worry too much on that one. Volumetric fog. Now this has pretty high GPU impact, so if you are struggling on your GPU a bit, this is a good one to dial back. You'll notice quite an impact from this. We're on high, there's normal, and there's low. In game though, when it's moving, you will notice that, to be fair. Anti-aliasing, TA8 or SMA8 or off. Obviously off. Quite a few jaggies. Yeah. So we'll go TA8 again. Motion blur on and off. There's on, there's off. Nice sharp image. Some people don't like motion blur, so you're going to have to try that out and see what you like and what you don't like. Personally, I'll leave it on, but yeah. Okay, so we've got a mix there. There's a custom setup, yeah, but this mix doesn't have much impact on the way the game actually looks. It's very hard to tell the difference, so you might want to you know, take a gander yourself, try it in game. So we've got a brightness adjustment, a contrast, a gamma, and a colour blind mode on and off under colour settings, and then we have Vsync on and off, and we have enable frame rate lock. This seems a pretty good one for an in-game one. I normally use the NVIDIA control panel frame rate lock, but this seems to work okay, so you know, we were leaving it on. You can lock it to console spec 30. This will depend entirely, not entirely, but a lot on your CPU. I'm running an old FX 8350 at 4.2, an 8 core. You know, it's showing its age now. I really need to get a Ryzen in there quickly. And also, of course, because of that CPU, I'm on DDR3. It's at 1833, so it's an overclocked one, but it's a DDR3. Everyone's on DDR4 now, aren't they? So something I definitely need to look at. So if you guys out there with your Ryzens or you know, your newer Intels, obviously you're going to push a higher frame rate. You're probably able to hit a constant 60, I would have thought. Ubisoft games on the whole, though, big open worlds, they are quite demanding. I mean, look at Assassin's Creed Origins. Nearly everybody I know is playing that at 30 frames per second on PC. So, hey ho. But anyway, I digress. We have 30, 31, 32, all the way up. Can we just skip and do that? Here we can. Up to 144. That would take some doing. Definitely. That would take some doing. If I lock this at 60, well, not lock it, but put it at 60 and take off the frame rate lock, so in other words it can run its own, I normally get about 45-50 FPS and it's CPU bound, so you know, the GPU can definitely go further. So if you've got this spec GPU, you can go a bit further depending on your CPU. Simple as that. Field of view scaling, I have turned this up a bit. I think it started at 75. I've upped it a bit for a bit wider view sort of thing. Again, quite demanding because you're obviously pulling in more effects, more graphics onto the screen, so you might want to watch that one. Depends on your spec of your PC, doesn't it? Resolution scale. If you've got a really powerful system, yeah, up it. But otherwise, I'm tempted to leave that alone. You know, you start pulling that up too high, and you're going to drag your GPU right down. But as in, go all the way up. Look at the VRAM at the bottom. That's literally shot up. Yeah. So just bear that in mind. I'll leave that on 1, which is sort of a default native image. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back and load the game. Now I have done the little intro that the game has, the little prequel, and I'm now sort of wandering around getting shot at by everybody in the dog. So yeah, literally I'm the dog. So you can see the performance aspect of it. So there you go. Pop the overlay on so you can see how everything's sort of coping with it. Give you a rough idea maybe for your own computer. Like I say, I'm just trying to help you decide if you're going to actually buy this game or not, because let's face it, gaming isn't a cheap hobby. Certainly not when the new releases anyway. So if we click continue and load. Now I do have this installed on a Samsung SSD, this game. Okay, Windows 10 is installed on a Intel SSD, and it's recording software, which is the standard NVIDIA stuff, Shadowplay. That's recording to another Samsung SSD, so we shouldn't have any delays, you know, that way, as it were. It shouldn't have any streaming issues. It should be pretty quick. Any bottlenecks next will be memory or CPU, I would have thought. Unless you want to push like a 4K image, and then you're going to need like your 1080 Ti or something, aren't you? A lot of money if you can get them, because of miners. That's another topic, isn't it? Okay, so I've been rescued. This old chap's rescued me, and I'm in this room. As you can see, it is a locked 30 in this room. Really good, really nice. I need to grab the stuff and then we can go outside. I won't do much gameplay because I don't want to spoil it for a start, and also the fact that I really am doing this video to show you what options are available in the game. Yeah. So you pick your character, as you can see. Another option for you. Just pick any default. I'll do. Give him a tan. Oh yeah, check these haircuts. Excellent. Oh, we got a lot of choice here, Ubisoft. We've got all sorts going on. Wow. Very good. Can we have slightly longer hair? Yeah. No, we can't. Confirm. Right. Upper body. Oh, there we go. Gosh, we got character selection, have we? You can be a thoroughbred American. Yep, done. Now what? Lower body. Yeah, we'll keep the camo. Sure we have jeans. Choices. Camo. Headwear. And we got caps. Don't I get a crossover like Wildlands caps or For Honor or something? Maybe I've got to redeem those rewards. We'll have to look. I don't know about you guys, but I've got literally thousands of Ubisoft rewards sitting there that I never ever use. I only use them to get the discounts on the games. They just build up and up and up. Okay, so we got funky gloves. What have we got here? Okay. You know what? I'm going to go red. Let's go red. Is that it? Can we go now? Can we play? This game plays well on a controller, by the way. I mean, I think it was obviously designed consoles in mind primarily. Plays okay on keyboard mouse, but personally, I have been playing this on the TV, I must admit, rather than the ultra wide, but that doesn't mean to say it doesn't play well on the ultra wide. Can we get outside? Just have a look around.
What's your status?
So
Hello?
as you can see, it's hardly taxing
Can
any.
you hear me? Hello? You ready to work? I didn't properly introduce myself back there. Most folks call me
I'll
Dutch.
skip all this because, like I said, I don't
I've
want
been
to spoil it.
trying to just take the gun from my safe. We need to secure this island if we're going to get your partners back.
We got a gun. So it's a good start.
Be careful out there. It's crawling with
Okay, now?
piggies. Those fuckers are willing to die for that psychopath that's leading them.
Outside we go. We get torch. Lucky. So I guess this is your base of operations. see the big outdoors. Now, I have been told this bit in HDR is fantastic, so I'm going to have to replay this bit. It's really bright, makes you, squint.
Now listen up.
There's
If
still
you're gonna
aware,
build
isn't it, guys?
resistance, there's some
Maybe
things
the
you
stuff
need to
traffic
know.
is loading, but then again, being
There's
an
4 ways you
SSD.
can go about
Oh,
this.
there we go. This
First,
is why.
you can liberate any hostages the cult's taken.
Next bit.
These are good people who might just fight alongside you if you help them. Second, you can destroy Eden's Gate property that's all over the place now. Hell, they built 2 goddamn shrines on this island alone. Third, you can tackle resistance missions. There are a lot of folks out there waging their own war against this cult, and they could
A
sure
bit late
use
to
your
the game
help.
with this, to be honest with you.
And last,
It came out
if
quite a
you're
few
really
days ago.
looking for a fight,
I know a couple of
you
people
can
that
take
have
on the
already
cult
fully completed
outposts
it.
that have popped up across the
Later
county.
on Xbox is actually
Liberating those places will
100%
give the
of it. He
resistance
was
solid
completely done.
footholds to push
It was
back
quite funny. He asked me a
against
few days
Eden's
ago
Gate.
if I'd do the co-op with him. It was like, I hadn't even got around to buying the game on Xbox. Oh well. Good, he's done it now.
I've got cameras set up all
So,
over this island.
30 frames
I'll
per
keep an
second.
eye out for anything useful. For now, head south and take out any culture you see. And help any folks in need, would you?
Pushes it at all.
Gotcha.
30 frames a second. Right. Let's see if we can push this slightly. So if we go. If I put 60, we'll see what it's really running at, because pretty much won't do that. There you go. 47, 45, that's pretty much where I was expecting. But it's not as smooth as running it, it's a lot 30. So, for me, I'll lock it at 30, push the effects up higher, and enjoy the game. So there you go, guys, that's how it runs on this system. So like I say, for me, I'm going to lock it at 30, max everything out, and just enjoy the game. Thanks a lot for watching. If you've got any questions at all, please pop them in the comments below. Bye for now.